And guys, USC has the ball back and sending the offense onto the field. And I don't think they got it snapped before the play clock ran out.
Delay of game. Offense.
So frustrating to see an offense lose track of the play clock and pick up a penalty like that. Quarterback by himself in the backfield. He'll call his own number. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. The Trojans moving quickly to the line.
Brings up second down.
Touch pass on the jet sweep. He's past the 30. Hit the gas, kid. Wide open ahead. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Trojans. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
Man, how hard is it to defend when you have a weapon like this at running back that can play wide receiver? You can design ways to get the football in his hand. Palmer, once you get it in his hands, he'll do the rest.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and oftentimes those are easier throws for quarterbacks. And these running backs, they're just naturally so good when they have the football out in space. Their vision, their creativity, their ability to make people miss. And this guy showed you right there a difficult guy to stop now if you're this defense moving forward.
And the extra point is good. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So the Wake Demon Deacons offense has its first opportunity of the day. One way to mitigate the explosive capabilities he has on the outside is be physical with him, and this dude will do that.
He will do that, and you don't see a lot of offenses take the top off this D because of this guy roaming around in the middle of the field. He is a true centered fielder, so this receiver's going to have to make plays.
And this does such a great job of getting guys on the ground. A lot of people are in position, but he makes plays, so him versus a dynamic wide receiver on the outside would be a great matchup.
I like this guy as a running back because he can run between the tackles and he can also go outside. He can really do it all.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Looking to throw, it's Shuck. Getting some heat. And they needed a little more room to work with as that one sails out of bounds.
You know, as an offense, you just don't get that many great opportunities in games to hit these type of big-time plays. When plays like that present themselves and receivers are open, as a quarterback, you have got to make that throw.
Keeping it on the ground with the single back. He's got enough for the first down. They'll spot it at the 37.
And they just kind of sneaked that one in there as a defensive guy, 3rd and 5+. I'm thinking pass. They were thinking pass, Palmer, and they slipped the run in.
And it's so nice then to have this guy at running back too, right? Because you could throw it to him on 3rd down or hand it off, and he's got the vision and the athleticism to go pick up that first, keep the drive going.
It's amazing how play by a defensive end in the backfield can really swing the momentum not only of a series but of a game sometimes.
All you're trying to do is create negative plays, to get them behind the sticks a little bit, to get those sacks, to get those tackles for losses. You see so much stunting in college football up front with the defensive line because you know once you get one of those plays, you got the offense right where you want.
If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. He'll pull it down and run. And he couldn't find quite enough running room to reach the line to gain. And the Demon Deacons line up to punt it away. Looks as if they might have a little something going there, but they'll have to kick it away. On the return, it's Cephas. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O's. This Trojan offense is ready to go back to work. That last drive really productive. David wound up with a touchdown. They'll try to do it again.
Yeah, so I don't expect this offense to change too much, Reese. They had a great drive. They got the touchdown. Everything working. I would expect them to keep pushing this ball downhill.
And just imagine if they could put another touchdown on the board right here. They could capture so much momentum in this game with back-to-back TDs.
Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. Fires to the tight end. Still running at the 40. Running toward the tape. Running inside the 20. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, USC!
And QBs love their big tight ends, and especially guys that can do such great things after the catch. He catches it. Dang, Palmer, he looks like a daggone receiver after he catches the football.
What a matchup nightmare, too, man. I mean, he's just too big for DBs to cover, and he's too fast for linebackers to cover. If I'm this QB, I'm looking that guy's way a lot more often than this one.
And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. Well, they didn't exactly milk the clock on that drive, did they? 2 plays and into the end zone for the touchdown. The kickoff team out there set to boot it away. He'll bring it out. It's Iomana. No idea what he could have been thinking to try to return that one, and they stop him at the 7. The Wake Forest offense returns to the field. They've stumbled a little bit out of the gate here, Jesse, finding themselves down by 2 scores.
Yeah, and their defense needs to help them out and get off the field, get them some more possessions. This offense didn't spend a lot of time on the field in the first quarter, David. I think they got to run the ball here and try to establish some rhythm.
They got to establish something, and you're right. You'll wear your defense out. Continue. You keep getting the football back to them, to the other offense. You're wearing your defense out, and you'll have no shot to get back in this game.
Trying to get the edge with a quick touch pass. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
I like offenses being creative. I'm not sure if that was the best place to call that play. I think this offense needs to think about just doing things a little bit more by the book. They've got a lot of good playmakers. You don't have to reinvent the wheel this early in the game.
Looking to throw, it's Shuck. Back open in the middle. Makes the grab, and it's enough for the first down before he's dragged to the ground. The Demon Deacons will hustle to the line.
Well, look, that wasn't a touchdown, but that was a massive play for this offense. They needed some momentum. They needed to find a rhythm, and what better way than converting on 3rd down. Awesome job by the quarterback getting through his progression.
And the Demon Deacons with the 1st and 10. He's going to pass. Feeling some heat. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. They'll tell you that somebody's always going to pop open, but it didn't happen in time before they got the sack.
No, it did not. And you know what? I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember zone defense. They didn't really have an answer. They weren't ready to get rid of the football. Quarterback hesitated. I got to him and got him on the ground. Might be a good call later on in the game.
After the loss on that last one, an all-important 2nd down play from the 12. Pressure coming. And it's incomplete. It was wild, high and wide on that one. not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, back up inside their 20. The give to the back. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
Listen, I know there are a lot of DBs out there that all they want to do is get interceptions and dance in the end zone. This dude likes to put his face in the fan, get close to the line of scrimmage, and tackle. And on the opening drive that he's out there, he gets a huge tackle for loss early. That is a statement play.
Very little will make a crowd hold its breath like a punt return, and he brought them to their feet on that one. And guys, USC has the ball back and sending the offense onto the field. This has been exactly the way you draw things up, David. The offense has really been moving the football.
And it's been great execution. They've done exactly what they've wanted to do. Build the lead. Now Palmer's a different animal. Now you got to protect it.
You can tell they were paying attention in practice this week in the film room because they have gone out, everybody right now on the same page.
Quarterback making adjustments with his receivers. To the air, it's Ward. Looking deep down the right side. And he cruises his way to the house. Touchdown, Southern Cal!
You know, sometimes as a play caller, you just don't have to overthink things. I've got a guy who's faster than your guys, and he's just going to run straight down the field. I'm going to throw it way down the field. He's going to make the catch, and we're going to score a touchdown, and that's pretty much what just happened there.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, they're up 21-0. Aggressive play calling on that drive. Just 2 plays, they get the long touchdown pass to pay it off. Kickoff team has the ball teed up, and they're about ready to go. And they desperately wanted to attempt a return, but decided not to. Instead, they'll take the touchback. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the Deacon offense. David, the punter got some work last time. They'd like to keep him on the sidelines in this drive.
Yeah, it's not something you want to say very often. You don't want the punter out there. This offense needs to get back lathered up and get a little bit more of a lift.
Best way to do that, identify where your best players are and just get them the football. Give these guys some time.
And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16.
Well, I know it's early in this game, but, man, this defense has had their number. They've done a great job. Already built a huge lead. Now getting this offense in a situation where they got to pass the football, and they better protect their quarterback better than they are right now.
Got things teed up and just about ready to go here in the second half. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the offense. They come into this third quarter with a lot of work they need to get done.
Yeah, and it starts with this possession. And I'm going piece by piece. I know this is coach speak and very simple. I score. I get a stop. I score. I can get back in this game, but it's got to be one drive at a time.
It's going to have to be, but I think the mindset offensively is we're probably going to have to score every time we get it because our defense has been struggling. They have not been getting a lot of stops, so this is a critical drive here for this offense.
And this one will be stopped for no gain. The Demon Deacons in the hurry-up. These quarters going to give them some space. Looking for a man. It's Shuck. Fires to the tight end. And that was some kind of collision between a couple of big bodies there, and he stopped from getting the first down.
So surprised we have not been calling this guy's name more. He's one of the best tight ends in the country, but give the defense credit. They have had an outstanding game plan limiting him so far. That's only his second catch of the game.
In the gun and looking to throw on third down. Snagged in the middle. It's Kyle Manor. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep him from getting the first down.
Wow, and what a great job by that quarterback finding his open receiver on third down. You know, guys, one of the most telling stats at the end of the game is third down conversion percentage. If you're a great third down team, it's invaluable to your offensive success, and that's why teams drill third down so much in practice.
Picked up 2 yards on that last when they need 8 on second down. They'll go to the ground. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. And this offense is desperate to keep this drive alive, trailing by multiple possessions, and it's getting late. They go to the draw. They wrestle him to the ground, but he's got plenty for a first down. And the Demon Deacons come to the line with a new set of downs. Going up top on first down. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Give to the fullback. He breaks a tackle.
And the big fella, usually blocks, but has a nice little run and met by the strong safety. He's called the strong safety for a reason. Those guys are, oversized safeties that are really strong and usually strong tacklers. Did a good job getting the big fella to the ground. Just gave up a little too many yards.
And the third down pass is incomplete.
Got to give the defense credit on that play, taking everything away, forcing the incompletion. Now it's decision time. 4th and short, and you're in field goal range. What do you do here?
He boomed it through a 50-yard field goal, showing off that powerful leg.
How nice is it as a head coach to have a kicker like this? It makes these decisions on 4th down so much easier. Just strut him out there and let him stroke it through the uprights.
So they're lining up to kick it off after that last drive. Put a 3 spot on the board, and now the defense will try to shut them down. The ball bounces through the end zone, and it will be a touchback. This Trojan offense is ready to go back to work. Wideouts all wadded up in a bunch. Here's the handoff. At the 35, he's got room. And it is a chunk play, a huge gain on that one before the defense brings it to an end. Pre-snap motion quarterback trying to get a read. With jet sweep pass. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down. And the Trojans want to crank the tempo. Looking downfield, it's Ward. He lofts one down the sideline. And he's got it inside the 10. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. He'll keep it on the draw. And he finds no running room at all, and the third quarter is over. Maybe more open spaces coming in the fourth.
USC 21, Wake Forest 3.
They'll try to open the quarter by cashing in on this big opportunity deep in the red zone. Receiver on the move gets the touch pass. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. Will they be able to get that one more yard and stick it in here on third down? Trying to get to him. And the quarterback goes down all the way back at his 4-yard line. The kicker looks a little disappointed. He'll not come into the game. They'll go for it on 4th and goal from the 4. Caught in the backfield, it's Cleescorn. Touchdown Trojans! And the route is on.
It's another good decision by the quarterback. You've got to be impressed here. On that one, he finds his tight end. But all game long, whether it's receivers or running backs or tight ends, wherever the best one-on-one matchup has been, he's been able to take advantage of it, and that's why they've been able to score so many points.
Lining up for the PAT. And the extra point gives them a 28-3 lead. They march 78 yards down the field, and they cap the drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass. The kickoff team on the field as they'll send this one away. Coming out with it, it's Maffa. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. The Wake Forest offense returns to the field. You want to talk about having a weapon to bail out a drive? David, that's why kickers are so important after that long field goal.
And listen, important is a relative term. We need to make longer passes and get better gains so we don't have to kick long field goals, Palmer, again on offense.
And they've got the weapons to do that, David. They just got to be able to dial those plays up. Guys have to be able to make them one-on-one to make life easier on this kicker, who is so important to this team.
Second down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Fires to the right. He's got it. And he gets the first down, but man, did he get the hit stick laid on his noggin. Now on 1st and 10 from the 29. Wants to throw. It's Shuck. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
And this is just one of those days, man, where everything has gone wrong, right? Like they just haven't been in a rhythm. They haven't got it going and never built the momentum. This is one of those days that you learn from, you try to grow from. A lot of things that we're going to show in the film room that people aren't going to like, but hopefully you can learn from it and do better next time.
And he's down at the 41. That's a first down.
They pick up the first down on the drag route. I know that seems like a simple route, but it's actually a lot more complex than what it looks like, because that route changes based on whether it's man or zone. If it's man coverage, he's flying across the field. If it's zone, he's got to sit down over the ball in a soft spot, giving his quarterback a place to go with it. Nice job of those guys being on the same page there.
Now on 2nd and short after the first down completion. They're going to throw it again. Coming after it. And the quarterback is snowed under.
The defense puts the exclamation point on the day. They have had a wonderful day, man. Doing everything great. Just, you could tell they were dialed into what was going on. And now just throw another sack at the equation. Hitting the quarterback, being disrupted. They've been all over the field.
On 3rd down, going up top. Grabbed over the middle. It's Maffa. And the catch was one thing, and the run even better. A big pickup on that one. The Demon Deacons have it with a 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Pocket starts to collapse. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42. They get the timeout called. 11 seconds remaining to play. After losing a couple of yards, it's now 2nd and 12 as they try to keep this drive moving. He's looking to throw. Going to try to pop one on the screen. And that play just looked to be a mess from the snap, and he's run out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. 9th play of the drive coming up, but this one will be tough. 3rd and long. They get to him as he throws. The pass is incomplete, and there are 2 ticks remaining on the clock. After this, it'll be a wrap. On 4th down, they'll throw for it. Going for it all. Fires it into traffic, and it's picked off. Got room on the return. The 40. The 20. The 10. And it's going to be a pick 6. Touchdown, Trojan.
You didn't think it could get any worse, right? You thought this game's over as it is anyways. Offense still throwing the football, still trying to make plays, and the defense just continues to pour it on, gets the pick, makes its way all the way to the end zone.
This is what you're looking for when you have the better team. Go out and show it. Don't fool around with them. Go out and play to a standard of excellence.
Just dominate. You know you're going to take care of business. You know you're going to win. It's like how many? How many can I win by? And I like that you keep your foot on the gas and just continue to pile it on. It's their job to stop you. Let them do their job. You just keep pouring on.
It's not about the X's and the O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. This is why recruiting is so important in college football. They just had better players, more physical, they were faster, and it showed today.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.
Another said, y'all can't shoot. The back and forth turned serious when another body dropped. And this time it was Bloodbath who felt the loss. The crazy part is how close both camps are on paper. Chucky Wack wears an OTF chain. His homies have been seen in videos flexing the same chain that members of O Block rock. To outsiders, this all looks like one big family, but behind the scenes, it's chaos. The connections to No Limit make it even worse. Bloodbath also moved with No Limit. So do the younger members of O Block. That overlap turned the whole thing into a minefield of backdoor potential. As more lives were lost, trolling picked up. In an interview, Chucky was asked about the death of King Von. His reaction was viral. He smiled the entire time and called it messed up, but you could tell he was laughing inside. What celebrity King Von? That's real. Great. Yeah, big old yeah. The fans, it looked like straight up disrespect. But once the war with O Block was confirmed, it made sense. This wasn't just fake beef. This was personal. Behind all of it is Lil Durk. He's publicly connected to both sides. That's where things get complicated. Durk has real love for Von. He said it in interviews. He's shown it in music. But Chuck is also Durk, connected through mutual friends and industry ties. Durk might not owe O Block anything directly, but for fans watching, it looks crazy. One side is dropping bodies on the other, and Dirk is standing in the middle, repping both. The reality is, Dirk probably knows everything. He's always been tapped in with the trenches, even when he's in Beverly Hills. He name drops active street names, responds to diss tracks, and stays engaged with what's happening back home. There's no way he doesn't know about the O Block versus Bloodbath beef. Whether he chooses to pick a side is a different story. So far, he stayed neutral, but that silence has its own consequences. O Block is the face of OTF in the street. Bond came from there for Dirk to play both sides. That makes the war even harder to control. And it's not just Dirk. No Limit is in the middle, too. They're still cool with both O Block and Bloodbath. They've been seen with Wick on one side, and they've posted up with E-Dog and the younger O Blockians on the other. That's what makes this beef so unpredictable. Any interaction could turn into a setup. The alliances are too close. They know each other's routines. It's not a war with blocks on opposite sides of the city. It's a war between people who used to stand next to each other. There was a time when O Block ran as one unit, back when Von was alive, when Big A was around, and when T. Roy's name was still being screamed on every track. But now, the block is divided. TSG, the younger O Block members, have their own way of doing things. They don't answer to OGs. They move on info. And that's part of why this beef exploded. Bloodbath didn't fear the old head. They challenged the new ones, and the new ones had something to prove. Bloodbath versus O Block might be the most dangerous kind of war, a war with no sides, no boundaries, and no separation between friend and enemy. A war built on connections that became betrayal. There are whispers that the beef might trigger bigger problems in the industry. When two street-connected factions with ties to the same label start shedding blood, it reflects badly on the brand. If OTF artists keep affiliating with both sides while real war is going on, that could bring heat from law enforcement or industry execs trying to dodge liability. Dirk may be forced to make a move publicly or behind closed doors. But right now, he's walking a tightrope, especially with him being locked up in the feds. Chucky's IG lives have only made it worse. He taunts O Block directly. He flashes OTF chains. He mocks Shoebox Baby, calling him a clown. I know that. Meanwhile, Shoebox Baby responds by hopping on IG Live and calling Chucky broke and calling him soft. Yeah, can you show me? Can you show me? Sit down now. Why not play me? Oh, 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 why? Man, I'm gonna stop playing. I'm not. I'm the guy, bro. I'm don't even like everything there. Only got these that's our son. Oh, Jado. Just every day. I never been over there. They have not never been over there. Only to play me. I wanted to play me. No to my age. No to my age. No nigga. Ain't none of the boys in my practice. No J-Lo. Tell me I said that. What makes this beef crazy is that Bloodbath and Oblak used to be cool. They used to hang out with each other, and Oblak members claim Bloodbath came from them, and Yulee Gang, now known Bloodbath, got the name from them. Recently, Brandon Buckingham did an Oblak hood tour, and in the video, you can hear subtle disses to Bloodbath. Leash and Oblak OG dissed the Bloodbath, making fun of them and saying they're making him mad. We're gonna get into acting. We're gonna do a real TV series about Robert Garden, started from the beginning all the way to up to now. My mouth can't be
Yeah.
when them niggas talk about back, fuck you talking about the tub.
Yeah.
You see my eyes, they making me mad. You want some chicken? Action Savage shoots Boss Talk. The situation between Action Savage and Boss Talk was more than just a diss song or a misunderstanding. It was a real shooting, and it turned into one of the most talked about internal beefs linked to the O Block and Bloodbath drama. According to multiple sources in Action Savage's own lyrics, he openly claimed that he shot Boss Top and took his strap. In one of his tracks called Computers, Savage raps, Boss Top front his move, I took his pipe and clapped it, directly referencing the incident where Boss Top was hit. This wasn't just rap. Himself confirmed in an interview that he got shot, explaining he was about to go live on Instagram when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his back and his arm. The bullet exited through the side of his chest. This wasn't no small grade. Boss Top got laid down in public right near O-Block. We're talking about how O-Block's so nice, but you got shot right over.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out on the street, not in the actual complex. Just fell sometime. That's it. Right. Just fell where? Back. Right here. You had to go to the hospital? No. To the bed. What made this hit more serious is how calculated it seemed. The same song, Action Savage flexed like it was nothing. Distant roadblock saying, don't get back. Be on the spin on us and crash. That line wasn't just disrespect. It was a straight up dare. And while some fans debated if it was old or new, the streets already knew what it was. This was a message. And it wasn't just aimed at Boss Top. It was aimed at the whole block. Boss Top's name had already been tied to drama with other Bloodbath members before. Streets were whispering that Boss Top and G Nook got caught lacking in a mass shooting where Bloodbath affiliates allegedly spun on. It's unclear if Action Savage was behind that one too, but the link was being made. In the aftermath, there were debates over who really started the Bloodbath name. Some said O-Block started it first. Others claimed Action Savage and his crew made it popular. According to Savage, they've been using that name way before the O-Block crew tried to adopt it. He even claimed they got it from an old movie, and it was just something the homies said growing up. But once O-Block started putting Bloodbath on everything, Savage and them took it personally. It became a war over identity, over turf, over who really built the image. The bullet, he just pointed at and he started showing, looking at that. He just talking though. He just, so I'm just looking at that. I look up, the shots got fired. And then, but not for me though. I'm just right there. He got the pipe in my face. And when he was getting right off, he just looking all crazy. I just like, I'm in him. I'm in him. Look at the shot, grab it like this. He get to trying to move. Now he trying to force, like, put that in my face. I'm moving back and forth type shit. So now I got the top of that. Now the shots going out type shit. He trying to run. As he trying to run, I grab the bottom of that, trying to run out. Snatch that out, snatch it. So now as I snatch, he pop the clip out there, snatch it out. He try to take off. I point that down. It ain't nothing in the clip though. He ain't even high on the top. Man. I took the pipe, but I threw that. Like, I ain't even keep the pipe, bro. I ain't keep the pipe. Yeah, I had that. I told you. All the trolling and rap lyrics was real street tension. The video clips, interviews, and IG lives painted a bigger picture. Boss Top later got on camera confirming the location where he got shot. Said he was outside the O Block complex near the street when the shots rang out. He didn't name names. but the timing in Savage's lyrics made it obvious. At one point in an interview, a blogger brought up Savage's song again and asked him what happened with Boss Talk. Savage didn't deny it. He just said, "The streets know what the streets know." He played it off like Black, acting like he didn't want to give free promo, but everyone already knew the details. Man, I forgot. You are there. This the crowd they want. I guess to get the views. But if he making music, he got stories like that, I think he need to write urban novels. He need to just write books. He a big good author. He got imagination. That's imagination. Why would you even if it was 10 true, how would you even say that? Yeah, to the world. That is kind of weird because he could totally get arrested. But why would you say that? That's dumb. Yeah, I be saying this to blog. That's dumb. But no, I get it. That's some people know really who that cat is. If that's what he wants to chase, I guess maybe. You probably just need to write books, write urban novels or something. You'll be a good author. So you don't know him at all? Negative. Yeah, might be one of dudes sniffing pills, man. Taking the city by storm, huh? Yeah, he probably be up that fat. The shooting itself set off a new wave of diss songs and internet back and forth. O-Block members started calling out Savage in comments. Savage started referring to himself as the youngest big homie, claiming he was checking hats and setting trends. He even mocked Boss Top's reaction, saying he got caught slipping and didn't spin back. It wasn't just personal anymore. It was a full-on campaign to embarrass the O-Block name. As the beef escalated, even smaller things became big. Some argued over who came up with the bloodbath. Savage said O-Block just copied it and ran with it because it sounded cool. But in his words, it always be deeper than that. That line hinted at old tension, behind the scenes issues that were never really public, but drove the energy behind the diss songs and drill. And the truth is, this wasn't about a name. It was about a line being crossed. Savage didn't just diss Boss Top, he shot it, admitted it in a track, doubled down on line. Boss Top survived, but the hit changed how people looked at it. In a city where you only get one shot to stand tall, getting hit and letting your ops brag about it, that hurts the image. And for a short time, it looked like Action Savage had all the leverage. To this day, Savage and his crew keep the pressure up. And even though Boss Pop survived, the diss tracks haven't stopped. Savage still references the shooting in new music and interviews, and fans continue to bring up that bar. I took his pipe and clapped it. That's the kind of lyric that sticks forever in the drill scene. Bar that becomes legend. The situation between Action Savage and Boss Top is a reminder that drill beefs aren't just about diss tracks or internet clout. These are real situations with real bullets and real consequences. Boss Top got hit. Savage claimed the hit. And as long as they both alive, tension stays active. More bodies might not have dropped behind that specific hit, but the statement was made. Savage spun, made a song about it, and still stands on it. In Chicago drill, that's as real as it gets. Click one of the boxes on the right or the left to watch a video similar to this. Watch a video similar to that. He's doing it. Hey, fall back. Just fall back. Fall back. When I tell you to move, hear it? I was talking shit. You know who that is? You said something. OG Murph. This isn't a new contract. Instead of scoring you through the fine print, let's talk about AI systems. Here are 5 questions that have to go. Where and how can my photos be used? Any restrictions in social media, advertising, or retailing? And what's the other clients within your industry? Right, lock into it. When will I get paid? Another penalty for late payment? Do I keep the copyright to my raw files and images? Does the client get ownership once they're delivered? What's the timeline for building the final images? How many rounds of revisions are? Don't stop there. If you have more questions or concerns, speak to a legal. But with Acrobat AI system, now in the contract just got a whole lot easier to find. Now you can focus on what you in the moment. Nobody wins when the family feels. I'm saying. Station overnight turned deadly. Now police are searching for a shooter. Officer Lucky was in Grand Crossing talking to employees about the murder just feet from their front door. Police were here 4 hours. Like evidence and returned later for the surveillance video. Vehicle, unknown make and model. Um, the female was wearing a brown jacket, black bag. But that vehicle they have a good time. The crime scene on the good around 11 tape, a vehicle with a plate wiped up, and then I think some people are best described the dude we talk about today as a simp, dude that's tender. But that's what we got here today. Fam. Today, talk about a story that highlights how some people just can't help but hate. Sometimes that hate devastating consequences. Today we talk about a man in his early 40s who was riding in the passenger seat of his girl. He still got the nerve to be upset of another man. And according to surveillance footage that we'll later bring in, this man got upset because another man looked at his girl. Look what's off the house. This video we'll go over this story that pay our respect to the victims involved. This is stuff reminder that sometimes people hear no pain can turn a moment from jealousy to a permanent tragedy. Nonetheless, we break down things involved and reflect on the serious consequences. Let hate ego get the better. But before we go over this, what you got to remember, give Wayne as you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, make, subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Bad Big Jonathan Ross, 41 years old. We're from Chicago, Illinois. He's the suspect in the video and why we're here today. Before we go over his current situation, I want to take it back to a situation just 15 years ago, back in 2010. The Robbins was just 31 years old. He was a part of a home invasion with a man named Leroy O, who shot and killed a 72-year-old man who went by the name of Anthony Atkins as they robbed his home in the Morgan Park neighborhood in Chicago. The incident happened August 20th, 2010 on the 10,800 block of South Sackers. Now, a couple people testified in this case. One of the people who was allegedly there with the man he showed the case. She testified that she arrived with the man at his residence at around 11 p.m. and watched a movie. During the night, a masked man later identified as Owen entered the room, pointed a gun at her, and threatened to kill her. She heard gunfire downstairs. So Langford's father injured and later identified Owen as the police line. Though she did not see the defendant that night, Langford Agnew confirmed he was at the house when he came. noticed the open trunk of his mother's car, so the defendants jumped down from the window. He heard threats and saw Owens with the gun, which led to a confrontation where Owens wanted the gun. He later identified Owens as a line. Later acknowledged possession of drugs and cash, but was told he could be prosecuted for offense. Now, Robinson was allegedly the driver for Owens. Later confessed and cooperated with local authorities, which explained why he was here 15 years later, but not arrested for murder. Fast forward May 14, 2025, in the 7400 block of South Stony Island, South Shore neighborhood, a man named Donnell Bourne, 40 years old, dressed in a gray jacket and hat, was also at the gas station at his address. In front of him is an unidentified weapon. This is exactly how that encounter went down. The man Donnell Bourne was arguing with later shot him 7 times. Later identified as 41-year-old Jonathan Roberts. Apparently, that was his girl. He ain't like how he was looking.
That station overnight turned deadly. Now police are searching for a shooter.
Officer Lucky was in Grand Crossing talking to employees about the murder just feet from their front door.
It happens here at 1:15 in the morning. Only one overnight clerk inside the station, but employees who arrived hours after the time tell us the entire thing was caught on surveillance video. Employees couldn't share video of the overnight incident, but told us it looked like the people involved were strangers. They told us the woman was here to buy something. A 40-year-old man seemed to know her, approached. The woman did not seem interested, they tell us, and told us another man got involved, seemingly from her behalf. But even as the woman tried to leave, a fight between the two men continued. The man who was already with the woman pulled out a gun and fired at the 40-year-old before the two left. Police were here 4 hours, like evidence, and returned later for the surveillance video. Murder, just feet from their front door.
The crime scene on the good around the Reddingsdale case, a vehicle with a plate, white top. Then I think the
Police tell us they haven't made any crime. They also are not releasing the name of that 40-year-old man because they were trying to track him.
and this incident happened back last season, but the surveillance footage has been leaked online for 24 hours. And the sister of Donnell went to Facebook and said, "Father, just watch this man shoot my brother down for no reason, all because he said he got this smoke. Crazy. Man, you sick in the head for this one. I hate I even watched that bullshit. You wrong, dude. He deserved to be done the same way. Y'all don't even have a when Donnell later got arrested May 16, 2025, this next quarter being June 4, 2025, still. But there you have it. This was the story. A Chicago man who decided to take the life of another man on camera, all because he looked at his girl and said he had good smoke. Legend. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments. Want to say rest in peace to the victim and love and condolences to his family. Send a prayers to whoever was affected by the story we just told. Talk to me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, bye. Catch you guys in the next one.
I tried every type of ED medication, Viagra or sildenafil, and Cialis or tadalafil.
December of 2021, Chael Sonnen was involved in an altercation at the Four Seasons Hotel in Las Vegas, where he allegedly attacked multiple individuals, including a couple and hotel security staff. Originally faced multiple charges, but later reached a deal, leading no contest to a lesser offense and paying a $750 fine. Last night, Chael posted a video to his Instagram apologizing.
Dr. Chris and his wife, Julie Stelter. Mr. and Mrs. Stelter, a number of years ago in Las Vegas, they coming down a hallway trying to get to their room. Encountered a maniac. Me. And I apologize. I wanted to apologize for number their children. Very specific. The madman, from the madman. To Mr. and Mrs. Stelter, I sincerely apologize. I would like to also apologize to your children. Reese Duplessis and Hamzat Chimaev talked some trash to each other today ahead of their fight at UFC 319. Hamzat kicked it off by posting this photo of Dricus with his team. Dricus added a bunch of donut emojis with a laughing emoji. Dricus replied saying, "Oh, hit you there, but there's no inbred emoji." Hamzat's fan account responded saying at least he knows who his father is. Dricus replied saying, yes, his older brother probably. Another Hamzat fan account replied saying, no Brock needed. If gay fighter takes it in the from his coach. Rodriguez responded saying, but at least not my relative. John just on this clip surfaced on social media. John saying that Islam is still new to the sport, aggravated some Islam fans. Like, what do you think? He's talking about his keeping on and not still up. Like, wow, you know, I think one time that study your footage. They say that might you instead of the next moment. There's John. Yeah, it gets hard. And then they're young. Like, you know, it's not why you interview with Red Corner MMA. To the backlash saying, I feel like the comment I made, a lot of people upset, a lot of Islam's fans upset. Really what I was trying to do is I was trying to translate for Nate to the Russian. Nate speaks in a very laid-back way. He speaks with a lot of slang. If you're not American, it may be hard to understand what he was saying. So I was just trying to translate for Mia. At the same time, he's saying that Islam is an up-and-coming fighter, but it's coming from me. I can say that. John also responded to an Instagram comment today saying that he ruined his own legacy. John said, John Jones, youngest champion in UFC history, most dominant, longest reign, made millions, left the sport on his own terms, flipped that fight money into real business success. became a great father, inspired people all over the world. Yeah, what a terrible legacy. Robert Whitaker recently shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. He faced and lost to both men. Whitaker believes Khamzat will be able to take Dricus down and control him, at least in the early round. However, he questions whether Khamzat can maintain that high-pressure style over the course of a full 5-round fight.
Chimaev had his stop his technique. Okay, I don't think Dricus will stop the match. I think it's like, oh, my trust me, it's kept me up in it. Like we were running it back. And it's like, there's a way, but it's tricky. Once he gets his hand on you, once you back up on that fence, he's going to stay there. Now, can he do that? Can he? Because I believe he will get it. He will control the over. But if he can't put him away, what does he look like coming out round 2? And then let's say that again. What does he look like coming out round 3? And then we've got that person. The trick is, yeah, he's got that. You don't put him away. Like he'll keep coming at you with his with his with his balls and his punches and his kicks. He'll keep doing it like until the bell rings. And I think that's one of his superpowers. I guess that's the biggest thing in play for this fight. It's just like what Kamar does with the tactic. So I believe there is no doubt in my mind that he gets what he can do.
And Gary continues to trash talk Jack Della Maddalena. Hey, he posted this video. JDM. He luckily calls Sean Brady stupid for a big time down. Usman goes down to the UFC at the end of and Brady's recent win over Leon Edwards means nothing. Here with Gary, he said Usman claimed he wanted the Sean Brady fight. Sean Brady skipped on him because he's like, I don't need you now. I'm #1 contender. Brady's stupid. If that's true, Brady, you dumb. The name you collected ain't worth nothing. Leon Edwards ain't worth nothing. Sean Brady's stupid because Kamaru Usman, he is that guy. Kamaru Usman will be a Hall of Famer in the UFC, no doubt. So the names do matter. Names do hold value. Names do hold weight. Sean Brady, dumb. I bless. Amin Makayev drops his sparring partner with a body shot. Posted the footage on X. Wrote, man said you'll never drop me with a body shot. I do core work every day.
Oh, yeah. I'll say later. So, football.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Right. Damn.
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
The
Los Angeles Coliseum, once home to the Olympic Games and many of the most
moments in sports, and also home to the USC Trojans, who are prepared to fight on once again today. What an exciting matchup we have in store for you this afternoon, built around the pageantry, tradition, and everything that makes college football great. As we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Ole Miss Rebels, taking on a team from the Big Ten, the USC Trojans. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. The drama built throughout this game, memorable plays, and then finally the gut-wrenching loss at the end in overtime.
This coaching staff is going to look back at the overtime, and they're going to wish they had called some different plays. They had some things set up, but ultimately, with games like this, they come down to the wire. You got to be able to dial up plays to win. I don't think this coaching staff did a great job.
And it's so frustrating to get to this point and make enough plays to be in the game, to come up short in overtime. I'd almost rather get blown out or this game be decided in regulation. It's just very frustrating to lose a game, especially like this in OT.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.
That's crazy. I don't understand why he did that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's hella crazy. Mm.
While some will say justice has been served, this is a catastrophic blow for Fulton County's DA and the prosecution. Because to say that they pulled out all the stops to paint YSL as demonic would be an understatement. The only problem is that once it was time to take it to trial, They proved themselves totally incompetent and incapable of proving what they once seemed so sure of. From the very outset of Thug being taken into custody, the prosecution and DAs used every hearing and public statement to depict him as a villain, making him out to be more of a mob boss rather than a musician whenever possible.
You see the shadow in the back of the room. He's the one directing traffic. He is the one that we're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He's pulling the shots. He is the most dangerous of the 28 judge. I clearly to Frank Obama. He's dangerous. The setup they've given to you is absolutely going to be less controlled. If he gets a burner judge and a court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on Facebook because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. And we know that to be their MO. He gets a burner, he gets in there, he runs his gang from inside.
And from a defendant slipping a Percocet into Thug's hand, through to the chaos that ensued when Lil Rod was escorted into the court, it initially seemed like YSL were going to make their job easy for them.
Take a look at the part we highlighted here. Do you see this? Right there. According to court motions, Young Thug's fellow defendant, Khalif Adams, passed Percocet the Young Thug under the guise of a handshake right in front of the entire courtroom.
With all
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm taking stupid ass fans. Y'all have been thinking people just made good music. You know how powerful somebody got to be for somebody walk up there. That's true. That is true. You know how powerful somebody got to be. I'm scared to death of him. I don't care what. Tell me, mission. He sticks me on.
For what it's worth, they initially didn't have any opinion of Thug's true character, ranging from snitches to alleged liars in the video of Thug discussing their operation. In a 2020 conversation about the next defendant, the state alleged that they're going to if you don't put it back. While in a May 2021 conversation with both defendants, prosecutors claimed that y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet. Then he stated, y'all alongside claims accused the man who had rented the car involved in the killing of Donovan Bignar Thomas, whose death at an ATL barbershop literally sparked a full gang war. You also had the testimony of guys like Woody, who seemed happy to throw blood on the stage. Plus, there was their questionable decision to use lyrics and social media posts in the trial, which would remove their right to freedom of expression. With all that, RICO expert Jeff Drell thought they might be. Williams' lawyers and other defendants would probably argue they were intending to look like suckers. They were intending to look like street, but that they weren't really street. He's a famous rapper. Why would he be screwing around with their stuff? But from the prosecutor's standpoint, it's like, look, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke. Not just song lyrics, but drinking the car, like a conversation that he apparently recorded with some of the other gang members about engaging in criminal activity, essentially. These are all things that prosecutors can use to argue. How could he not know what he was doing? As a prosecutor, you would argue that, when was the last time you talked to somebody about a clearly health and normal people don't do that. Clearly, the pressure was because before long, YSL Gunner, arguably the label's second biggest artist for Thug himself, took an awful plea to state jail. In the process, being labeled
Yeah.